Well, a very good day to you, everyone. This is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks, and if you're watching this channel, I'm assuming you like RC submarines because that is all we are going to be talking about in this week's video. We're going to be doing a few things. We're going to be unpacking a beautiful Ohio. We're going to continue our work on the Gary Anderson Stingray. We are going to sink our Virginia. We are going to showcase the build of a new Delphin kit. We're going to try and diagnose a nasty, stupid Chinese gear pump issue. We're going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of a super cool little 32-inch long Russian Typhoon submarine. And probably most importantly, I am going to be releasing some big news that is going on here at the dry docks that's going to make a big effect on my build schedule. You're gonna want to hear this. I just got back from a week away, so there was not a lot of progress last week. So this is going to be the kickoff to next week. It's Friday. Usually I would start on a Monday. So what we've got right here is a gigantic box. And we're going to kick things off with an unboxing. So this was the 1/30th scale German 212A that we originally laid up for Collier a long time ago, and it was what was featured in my last video, which of course you all saw because you're subscribed to my channel. Why don't you take a look inside? How slick is that, hey?
Push button, cool.
Yeah, push button release. Oh, that's the periscopes and the operational maps. Oh yeah. So, ooh. Yeah, holy cow. Okay, this is going to be fun. This is a float switch, and this, I believe, is the rotating mast.
Oh, here's your air intake.
Air intake for the ballast system. Oh, it just goes straight in. Wow.
Okay, oh yeah, he's got the grooves cut out for it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we need to grab our Allen wrencher. All right, give us a couple of minutes, and we're gonna put some stuff together. Let's take a look at what this crazy thing looks like now that we got most of it together. That is a cool boat. So we know this radar mast spins in there, and the entire periscope assembly is all removable, which is awesome. I believe this is a functional LED light, and we're not sure exactly where that goes. We think it clips on there. It wouldn't go on the down a little lower. Yeah, probably like that.
Somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And we got two little dudes. We got to figure out where we're gonna put them. And we got the planes all attached and working. That's all magnetic inside. So what we're rating on now is the second box of parts, which include the radio and a stand and the screen for the video camera in the front, and the big main drive battery, which is, I believe, a big 10 amp sealed lead acid battery. Just got to figure out where that goes in there.
I think there's a little gap back in.
Or in the front maybe, or in the middle. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out. And a weight came loose. We got to figure out where the weight goes. But at the end of the day, this isn't sold, and it's gonna have to fall behind in the priority list compared to some other stuff that we've got going on. You know, when you first look at it, it doesn't look so big, but when you get close,
I mean, this is
6 feet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, I'm gonna guess, like a 10-inch beam at least. You guys got to check this prop out though. Like, look at this thing. That is gorgeous. What a cool boat. So we got to figure out some place to put this. And then
Take up its own bedroom.
it will, yeah. All right, on to other things. And we got another project that's kind of started, sort of. Let's take a look. It's Typhoon. I don't know that it actually works out to any specific scale, but the customer wanted it 3 feet long. And it's going to operate in a swimming pool. Non-retractable dive planes. We're hoping to have these open and close on a float. And what's actually kind of cool, if this is a hint in the front, right there, and another hint in the back. So we're going for Red October here, people. And the idea is these little side panels will open up. Haven't decided how to do it. I might just make pumps, and it'll just pressure up and open up the doors through water pressure. But the idea is to make a functional magneto hydrodynamic propulsion system. This, by the way, was a nightmare of the most epic proportions. The files have a certain wall thickness, and when you scale them down, the wall thickness comes down too. So these parts are really thin. And as such, when I got these, they were really badly warped. And so it basically took me about, 3 hours of heating and massaging and gluing and re-gluing to get it to where it's at right now. It's pretty good. There's some gaps, but we can address that with filler. It's gonna look good. And see, there we go. This is what I did on the inside to maintain alignment. I got 1/2 inch aluminum flat sock. That's gonna go in there and maintain perfect alignment. So that works really cool, top and bottom. So, here's all our detail parts, including all the hatches and the scoops and the enclosures for the magneto drive. For now, we're just gonna tuck this in here. There's the torpedo tubes, or the missile tubes. We're not doing anything with those. We're just gonna pretend those don't exist, and we're just gonna go like this, and put it back away, and then forget about it until we get some of that done. We're finally shipping out that Nautilus that I built a gajillion years ago that I was originally supposed to fly up, but the guy who bought my plane is just dragging his feet. So we've got a beautiful shipping crate. We're just finishing wrapping it up, and we're going to ship this trucking, LTL, just like I did for my big 212. And that R&L carriers, man, they did a great job. So I think we may go back with them depending on what the quote situation looks like. But we're going to finish boxing this bad boy up and get it shipped out of here. All right, it's early Sunday morning, and I'm doing my email and correspondence and doing a little video editing on the course of the weekend here. But just a bit of a follow-up. Friday was all just trying to catch up from me being away. There was a lot of orders we shipped out, a lot of products that we were boxing up, doing the waybills for. This next week's going to be super busy. You're going to see some cool stuff. But I had Dive Tribe yesterday, and if you're not familiar with the Nautilus Dry Docks Dive Tribe, basically we get together every 2 weeks and we talk RC submarines. We pick a different topic each time. Yesterday was actually building shipping crates for your RC submarines, which is super cool. Coming up next time is going to be 3D printing, and specifically 3D printing for RC submarines. So if you're not already a member, I highly recommend you join the Dive Tribe. It's super cheap and absolutely worth it, in my opinion. What I'm leading up to here is I actually had an important update that I released to my Dive Tribe team in advance of everybody else. They always get first crack at new products and new information. I am going to share this with you here. I'm going to use an excerpt from our Dive Tribe meeting to explain it away.
Recently, being approached with an opportunity to rejoin my previous company full time. And this is a situation that I can't ignore and I really can't turn down. I've really only been paying myself less than minimum wage for the last 5 years. All the rest of the money has been going directly into the company. But we're obviously need to make a change. I realize now that I'm almost 49 years old that Father Time is knocking on the door. So we're starting to strategize for the future. And I think it would be much more beneficial for the hobby if I could retire earlier and then I could get back to subs full time.
And you can play with them.
And I can play with them. The Dry Docks has been a passion project of mine for about 5 years. As a background to this, I was working full time. I was very high up in the executive team of a multi-billion-dollar company, working on innovation, business analysis, and marketing. And after I got cancer, I decided it was time to pursue my passion, which was, the RC submarines. A lot of things have changed in the meantime. I kind of went after things hardcore for the longest time, but as you all know, our hobby is changing pretty drastically, pretty quickly. The number of customers that are in the business, in the hobby, are going down, and the vendors are also dwindling a little bit. So I needed to make a strategic decision for, the good of my family and for myself. So in no way whatsoever am I leaving the hobby. Let's just put that out on the table right away. I fully intend to still be running RC submarines until I'm 90 years old and running, a little handheld one because that's all I can carry. And I still fully intend, probably more so even than I'm doing right now, to provide instructional videos, tutorials, supporting the dive tribe, supporting Subfest. All of that is 100% still going to be happening. None of that is going to change. What is going to change is my shop time. It's going to be cut down by about 80% because I'm full-time now with the company that I'm signed on. And this will probably be effective like March 1st-ish. Hopefully you won't see a huge change from your perspective other than, if you go to my website and you're looking for dinky little products, or if you try and get a hold of me by phone, I'm at the office. It'll be a hard time for me to pick up. So, but it is going to be a big change, but I'm not going away. I'm still going to be here. Don't hesitate to email me. If you're really pressed for an immediate question, you can text me. Just don't expect an immediate reply because I am going to be busy trying to make money.
So as you saw in there's some pretty big changes coming up, but hopefully you back at home won't see a lot of changes, especially if you're really just following along on my video channel, because these videos are still going to get cranked out. One of the things that I referred to in that little excerpt that you saw there was the fact that cylinders from R&R Engineering are temporarily on hold. If you go to my website right now, you'll see everything out of stock. Ron is encountering some medical challenges, and so basically we've decided to alleviate some of his stress right now and suspend sales until such a time as he is back on his feet. So if you're looking for cylinders or conversion packages, unfortunately can't fulfill those at this time, but hopefully Ron will get back on his feet, and his best wishes from everybody here, and I'm sure from you as well. So with that, I'm going to get back to work doing more emails and editing, but we'll check in first thing tomorrow morning. Well, Buenos Monday to everybody. It's time to hit the ground running. We got lots to do. Let's start with talking about that thing. So further to my announcement that I just had, I was talking to the customer that commissioned us to do this build, and he has actually said, hey, if it'll help your build queue get cleared up, if you want, you can cancel my order and I'll grab some different stuff from you. So I'm like, bonus, awesome. Now we've already put a lot of work, by we I mean the royal we, mostly Logan, But this is all set up for, RC access, and actually the hull drops down perfectly in there right now. But if we take a look at the situation we got going on, there's some areas that we lost some rivet detail. So what we did is we grabbed some of these little pins, and they're probably a tiny bit larger than these printed rivets. But we're gonna take a quick stab at seeing if we can drill and pop these in. If it's gonna be too labor intensive, this is gonna be a bonus product for somebody. Now that we have no specific need for it, we're not gonna hang on to it. We're not gonna just throw it on the shelf. We'll sell it to somebody as a started project. And Logan has already done. You've got most of the wheelhouse all done and painted and everything, right? Don't you?
Yep, the wheelhouse interior of the wheelhouse should be completely done, painted, and has lights in it.
Yeah, and the breathers I think are done as well.
Breathers are done
as well. So I mean, huge head start for somebody if you're interested in RC or display. But this is optimized for RC, obviously. Logan opened up all the grading and all of that stuff. But at any rate, let's take a stab and see what these rivets look like. So here's what we found out about these rivets. These rivets, they're nice, but they're too big by a little bit. So we had a little thought. We're gonna pull these out, and we're using 16th inch brass. And you can see it's perfect, absolutely perfect in terms of size. And we think we have a technique. So this is what we came up with, and this is sort of the final installation of this little line of them here, right here. We'll throw some primer on, and we'll show you guys what it looks like here in a second. But the technique is actually pretty slick. So all we do is just take a piece of 16th inch brass and we make our round head. And then I'm gonna make the other side pointy. And I can just keep this large piece of brass in here. Now all I'm gonna do is jam it into the hole, if it'll go. It's a little tight, there we go. Push it in until you get the correct depth. And then we're gonna flip this over, and with a pair of snips, just snip the back off. So installation of that rivet, and that pushed out a little bit, that's not a big deal. Get the height right. And now you're basically all set to go again by making a round head. Pushing it in the hole. I'm gonna go, yep. Push it down, flip it over, snip it. It goes pretty fast, and it looks pretty good. So I'll just do this, and we'll hit it with a little primer. We'll show you what it looks like. And there you go. Finished product. And after we got those in, we just take a little sandpaper, just rub, and it looks really good. I don't think it would take much to get this back into fighting trim again. So for anybody interested, we got the full kit, assembled by Logan. The wheelhouse is all done. Actually, you know what? Grab the wheelhouse. Let's show everybody what that looks like. Grab the rest of the parts we might as well. So this is what we're offering here right now. Kit, all the hull sections are installed, joints are reinforced, new bulkheads, custom bulkheads for RC have been installed, which means the top literally just drops down now. It's perfect. And then it's got the full LED lighting kit included as well. And then Logan did a whole bunch of work. The wheelhouse is completely assembled, got all the details, the LED lights are in there, the snorkel for ballast system is included, and the breathers are also set up to operate as well. So those lift, and you'll see because this was RC, this is split right here, so it lifts with it. It's pretty slick. And then all the LED lights for the wheelhouse, drain holes, all of this is done. If you're interested in an RC Nautilus, this is going to be how you get a jump start on your project. And a little bit of extra work with the Stingray. Did some more filling, getting things all smoothed out. You'll see I drilled these holes here, and I want to talk to you about these. They look like portholes, and people are telling me they're portholes, but when you take a look at the interior set, there are no windows on the inside. There's just flat, actually like a shelf that goes at this point. When I was taking a look at some 3D files I'd found, somebody did the rendering of this, there were actually some tubes, some intake or output tubes that were in these 3D files. And so this is what I came up with. They'll look like that. I think they look really cool. And those will kind of go down on the inside. If I put that like that, you'll see there'll be like tubes that go down. Add some visual interest to the interior. So for those of you who are like, no, they're portholes, you know what? I'm going off the best information that I had. I think this is going to look just as cool, if not cooler. So we are about to hit this with some primer. And also wanted to show you my little consoles. There's my floor and all these little consoles I drafted and printed. So those will go there. There's my tubes, my floor, all that stuff. So I think my characters are going to be a little overscale, but from a distance, they're going to look really cool through the windows. So things are coming along. All right, everyone, what I have in front of me is a new line of transport boxes that we're going to be offering here through the Nautilus Dry Docks. These are all built to size for your specific boat, and the beauty is they're going to be shipped unassembled, so shipping to you is going to be really, really economical, but they're going to be super rigid and really easy to use. What we're going to do now, take a couple minutes, we're going to show you what we got and how easy they are to put together, and at the end, we'll show you what it looks like because we're going to be putting an Akula in here. So this is where Akula is at right now. I'm just letting the glue set. And then we're going to be adjusting the height by carving down the saddles a little bit. I just want to drop it a little bit lower in there. But we got rigged up a bungee that's going to hold it down as well. But we'll pick this up tomorrow. And also tomorrow, we'll be telling you what we're going to be doing with all of this RC submarine awesomeness. Well, guys, I was all kind of done for the day, and I kept obsessing about this Rape Master. It's heavy, it's ugly. So here it is. This is incredibly heavy and thick and full of cracks, and it's the wrong color. I'm going to print this all as one piece. I'm going to thin it out, and we're going to print it in ultra clear resin. I think this is a good decision. Let me see what I can come up with. Happy Tuesday! Gonna be a short day for me because I got a doctor procedure going on here later on this morning, so that's unfortunate. But in the meantime, it's 5:30 in the morning here. We got stuff to do. The Akula, he's all buttoned down, ready to go. I cut the foam down, dropped it down a little bit, fits much better. Got the bungee strap on there that holds it down really solid. So this is looking super cool. Really love these boxes. I'm going to grab the lid, throw it on there, and this will be ready for Steve. I'm going to bring her to Subfest. And then I got to move on to boxing up Vanguard. Got all those boxes packed up. They're all waiting to get way bills. Sold that RC Nautilus package. Had a customer who just reached out spontaneously, and he's like, oh, hey, you know, I'm kind of ready to move on that. I'm like, well, if you want a deal. So that's sold. Sorry, if you're looking for it, it's gone. That's the way it works. You got to move fast, people. You got to move fast. All right, I want to show you what we did with that big box of stuff that we had down there. We're bringing back the Nautilus Dry Docks mystery boxes. These are chock full of RC submarine awesomeness. i.e. all the leftover stuff that I don't foresee myself having a use for in the next little bit. But there is good stuff in here. Every single one of these boxes has a radio. One of them it could be a 2.4. There's a bunch of low frequency radios in there. No, you can't stipulate it. It's a mystery box. You get what you get. If you want more chances to win 75, buy more boxes. That's the way it works. But there's lots of awesome stuff in here. Like some of them have like brand new angled dual box steel motor gear boxes, giant thrusters, pumps, electronic modules, snorkel valves. I mean, I've even got that iris that I built in there. There is just a ton of cool stuff in here. We're just doing 8. 8 is all. So if you're willing to take a little gamble, spend a little money, grab 1 or 2 or all 8 and get in on the awesome stuff. Now, the other thing that I found was a bunch of FPV stuff, and I'm getting rid of all my torpedo stuff, including 2 OEM Merriman 72nd scale torpedoes. So for you guys with the 72nd Gato or the 72nd Type 7 or the Type 9 or whatever, your one and only chance in the history of the known universe to get your hands on that kit. It's going to be up. Once it's gone, it's sold. Don't come crying to me that you missed it. So we're all done with our mystery boxes, and we just unboxed another box because we love boxes here. But it has something pretty cool inside. I think you may be interested. 196 Ohio class. I think this is an old Copeland hull. I'm not sure where this came from. But the bones are super solid. The fiberglass work is really, really good. There's the housing for a bow thruster in there, which had gotten broken. The little paddle got broken off, so this would need to get repaired and stuff. But, you just got to sail. You just got to clean it up a little bit. But I like it. Stern appendages have started to be applied. We got our diplanes in place there. We got rudders. And then this cone, I think I may have actually supplied this to the previous customer a long time ago, but I'm going to redo this real quick. So the fit and finish is a little better. Printed it in ASA back in the day before I really knew what I was doing. But this is a super cool boat, and I don't know that this is really showing you how much. Logan, grab the tape measure. Let's see how long this crazy thing is. And then add the tail cone there too.
So that would be about 70.
70 inches. A sizable boat. And really, there are no kits of Ohio out that I know of anywhere. Comes with a super cool brass prop too.
It's a very nice brass prop. You don't find too many that are that nice.
Yeah. So I think I was just telling Logan, I'm not going to be able to get much work done today because of my doctor's appointment. But tomorrow, we're just going to take maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes. Clean, print,
Beautify it.
beautify, sandify, get it looking nice. Might even print some bulkheads off on the inside because the hull's just got to come in just a little tiny bit for perfection. But that's kind of cool. Thought I'd share it with you. It's not gonna be a build for us, so we're just gonna turn around and sell this to some incredibly lucky person. It's Wednesday, and we got a bunch of stuff on the bench I'm gonna show you in a second. But first, I need to show you this crazy bird that's trying to break into my house. So somewhere out here is a cardinal, a female cardinal, and she really, really, really wants to break in to our house. You can see all these marks on the windows. Oh, there she is. Do you see? In a second, she's going to smack into my window. And she's been doing this for months. Yeah. And now she's, okay, try again. Maybe this time you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Oh dear. And this has literally been months. This has been going on for. She'll do it for like hours and hours at a time. She's been around long enough. I think we need to figure out a name. What are we going to call her?
Red October.
Maybe you guys can come up with a name for this crazy bird trying to break in to my house. Drop it in the comments below and we'll see what we can come up with. Updateification. Let's take a look at Ohio. So Logan is upgrading the bejuices out of this boat for somebody who's going to get it. We got the new high strength tail cone adhered on there, all ready to go. We replaced a little broken stabilizer right there. And more importantly, we got the new bulkheads designed, printed, and installed to create ultimate super spacing for the upper deck when it goes on. And I don't know where these magnets came from, but man, oh man, they're like hardcore. This sucker just snaps right down. So now our deck demarcation is perfectly uniform along the whole length. I think the only thing we got left to do is just clean up that tower a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to show you the finished product, take some photography pictures, and then we'll get this listed for somebody. That is a cool boat. I've done a couple of builds of 96, and that was a Submarine Works kit. Same scale, but man, what a cool boat. Let's go talk about this. So if you actively peruse my website and take specific note of all the intricate details of it, you'll have seen a new listing for 3D files from Randy Sanders, a Russian Delta IV. And I was so taken by those files, I made the investment to get them professionally printed, shipped back over here. And we took, I don't know, maybe an hour?
If that.
These go together really well. Let's show you what the assembled boat looks like. Delta IV in 1/144 scale. So this is to scale with the Typhoon and the Oscar that Randy did. This is a big boat. Yeah, this is a huge ballistic missile submarine, one of Russia's Cold War boats. But a couple of super cool feature, all engineered for all of your linkages and everything. We have these just slipped in place so you can see what they look like. Dual screw boat. All of the details. Look at the deck details in this thing. And then, most importantly, if you elect to do them, because the file comes with both open and closed versions, as you can see right here, we went ahead and rigged them up. So now, ta-da! I love this boat. I don't know. I would love this boat in about double the scale is what I would love. It'd only be, what, like 8 feet long?
Yeah, only.
Yeah, something like that.
Put it on a shelf somewhere in your house.
If somebody's interested in this particular one that we've already assembled, we've just tacked it. We haven't done full hull reinforcementation in it yet. But, let me know. We can always get more of these. But gosh, gorgeous. Can you open that up for them and just show you how this all goes together? The hull just slips forward. Yeah, there you go. You got the orientation pins, and this is how we did it. Now, you could just put pins in here, but what we did is I had some really long lengths of brass, just went down the whole length. Then you get perfect alignment between everything, and then the ends work as your pins for holding the hull down. And then there's your inner workings for the doors. We haven't trimmed this, and you could put a horn on it. But that's how the missile hatches would work. Looks like you could probably fit a 2.5-inch cylinder in here, but a 2-inch, actually, yeah, there you go, would probably fit a lot better. I'd be tempted to print this out just a little bigger, honestly, like in 100th scale or something like that. But at any rate, because this thing has a tremendous amount of freeboard. A lot of this boat comes up out of the water when it's fully surfaced. So a big cylinder with a big ballast tank would be ideal. But there you go. super excited. Hope you guys are as well. One more thing to show you real quick. These are a collection of brushless motors that Ed Tortle put me onto. And this is from a company called Apis Queen. Sounds like a type of hornet or something. They sell these in all different sizes. And you're like, yeah, brushless motors, blah, blah, blah. These are waterproof, fully waterproof, rated to 100 meters depth, according to the website. And they're not expensive. They're like 20 bucks, which isn't bad. The only thing you got to do, there's not a standard shaft, so you need to build an adapter plate and screw that into the front of all of these. And this big guy here, came with a 100 amp ESC. So I'm going to hold on to these for future projectives, and we'll see where we can end up using it. But something like this, you could easily mount in something like that. 2 of them, side by side. And then you don't need to put them in a watertight cylinder. So there you go. Just sharing. Google Apis Queen. And big shout out to Sub Ed Tortle for putting me onto them. Back to Stingray, at least a little bit here for a second. I told you I was going to redo the Rate Master, and I wasn't lying. Let's take a look and see what happened. Version 1, version 2. This is the original one. Kind of weighs like a grapefruit. It's all solid resin. All the profiles are incorrect. This is all wrong. Wrong. Had a gentleman reach out to me who wanted me to do a build, but then I told him I couldn't, and he said, "Well, here's a whole bunch of reference material for your project anyway." And I built this in 3D, and this is far more correct. So it goes from a large, shallow radius to a smaller, more aggressive radius in the back. And there's a lip in the back. And it's much, much thinner. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick on the inside. And again, the primary reason I did this was for weight, because that Stingray is heavy in the stern. So, and there's not a lot of room for foam. There were some printing issues, but I think we can rectify this with some clear epoxy. Logan's going to take a stab at that. Regardless, it's infinitely better than green versus clear and heavy versus not heavy. In theory, we're going to see in a second. First version, 276 grams. Come on, nice low number.
I'm going 150.
163. So what, 100 grams lighter?
Yeah.
All right. Mission accomplished. It's lighter and it's more accurate. Looks cooler. I think the blue LEDs are going to illuminate this like way better too. So this is going to go in the old recycling bin, just like that. And we're going to get to work on this. We're going to tune it up and get it mounted. But Stingray's going to get some lights installed first. But before we do all that, we got to test this freaking Virginia out and figure out why this stopped. I checked it yesterday, and the motor was working perfectly on the bench. So we got to take it to the top secret test facility, dunk it in the water, and see if the motor stops. Here we are at the top secret test facility, and we've got Virginia's nuclear power plant all set up. So let's test. Yeah, we got throttle forward and back. Boy, is that smooth. Holy. Okay. Now we're going to put it in the water and see if anything changes. All right, hit her. No, that's... No, just the throttle. Okay, we got throttle. Do you see how it's just spinning? So now there's nothing forward or back?
Okay.
Partial.
Left and right, that's it. Don't have any other dive planes on either side.
Okay, did anything come back? There you go.
This one.
All right, stop for a second. Let me check some radio situation though. Okay, got a thought. I don't know if this is valid or not. Maybe you guys who are more better-ish at radios than me can chime in on this. I had the power output set to 500 milliwatts because we were testing at a big pond. I didn't want to chance losing control of the boat. But I wonder, I've heard this before, if you're transmitting at too high a wattage at too close a proximity, if the boat gets messed up. I turned the power from 500 down to 100 milliwatts, and it seems to be working perfectly now. And in practical application, when Ed was running his Crick U-boat at Sylvan Rodriguez Park, he was running it at, I think, 10 milliwatts. Maybe it was 25 milliwatts, and he was getting out like 50 feet. You know, he'd go down 2 feet and he'd lose it, obviously, but, you know, I think blasting power at it is maybe not a good thing unless you're planning on going to the other side of the lake. Jason's got the boat. We're going to throw the cylinder in the boat, put the boat in the water, and see what happens. That is a cool looking boat. A little dusty. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put that in the baby top secret test facility just to check functionality, and then we'll put it in the big test facility to check other functionality-ishness. All right, so we got it in. This is where it let us down at the the pond. I'm gonna give it some juice. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's throw it in the big pool. All right, it's time to give it a shot. Oh man, here comes the rain. It takes a little while to get up to speed, and it takes a little while to turn. But we're in a swimming pool, so I'm not overly worried. So far, we've got really good response to throttle. There's been no problem. I'm getting pushed around by the jets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back up a little bit, get over to the other side, dive it, and we'll make sure that we still got control. So, post-mission rep on Virginia. It ended up at the bottom of the pool. For some reason, the ballast pump kicked on while it was under the water without input from me and pumped and pumped and pumped the entire cylinder full of water. Completely and utterly full. Took everything out. We did an immediate emergency clear out of all of the electronics, opened up the receiver, dried everything out, blew everything out, packed it with silica gel, and let it dry for 2 days. Happy to say everything is fully functional, with the exception of the remote switch, because those things, if you breathe on them, they will die horrible deaths. But everything else is 100% fully functional. I got all my everything is perfect. So what we need to do here is rectify this situation once and for all. So what I'm thinking, this is a vented tank, by the way. So there's a hole right here. So it blew in and then blew the water into the dry compartments of the cylinder, and then it was just all kinds of bad news. We're going to make this bulletproof. This is going to get sealed, and we're going to vent this up and out the tower. But what we want to do, because this was calibrated for a partially full tank, so what I'm going to do is put the intake for the air at the height of the probe, which is where it wanted to be, and then run it up so that this tank will never fill more than that much. Because if that pump does kick on, it'll just blow water out the air intake. It becomes a foolproof system by which all of the dry compartments are 100% isolated from the ballast tank. This is a drawback to the OTW systems. Not good. We'll get it cleaned up. We're going to make this thing rock solid, and we're going to get most of this work done right now. So we're almost done prepping Ohio for pictures for you guys. And Logan noticed something funny. This is a sealed compartment for the forward bow thruster, but it's a little what's the word? Startled. Ohio in all her glory. Sail's been looked after. Logan did a great job on that. We got new bulkheads inside. That's all looked after. Tail's been repaired, and I even found a shaft that fits the prop. Look at that thing. That is a nice boat. I'm going to get it listed. Someone better jump on it super quick. So before we shut down today, did some workage. We got lights in the interior of the boat. We got warm whites. We're going to show this to you in a second. Just calm down. Got some blue lights, but I wanted to show you the lower hull lighting. So I got some orange lights in these side thrusters, which I am told this is how it turns. It was with these thrusters in the series. But this blue Rate Master, that is cool. So cool. And this is running off 9 volts instead of the full 12.8 that this thing is going to be getting. So cool. All right, let's see. Let's get some lights on this side. All right, let's hit her. There we go. We got a flashing white LED back there, warm white LEDs inside, and blue shining out the torpedo tubes. This thing is going to look so cool. Look at the neat light arcs on the side of the boat. This thing at night is going to be epic, like totally epic. Well, that's a pretty good day's work. Well, a very good Thursday to everybody. We spent the morning packing up Ohio. I haven't got it listed yet. I got to do that today. It'll get listed. By the time you see this video, it'll be listed. We sold a couple mystery boxes already. People checking my site out all the time. That's what you got to do to get the good deals. Packed up that other Nautilus, so that's all done. But I want to show you how Stingray is looking. So this is all of the lights tested. We got our flashing white LED there. Just thought that would look cool. Help track it, you know what I mean? Yeah, and the Rate Master is working too. It's this guy. Like, how cool is that? Once we get the paint job on this thing, it is going to look really, really badass. And the interior is all ready for the interior pieces, which I got right here. All the little desks and I don't know what these are. Ghetto boxes and stuff. And I'm still waiting on the chairs and the dudes. Well, I've got the chairs. I need the dudes. What I'm doing now is adding foam. So like I told you guys, I'm really worried about the overall trim of the boat. So I'm putting foam, starting to put foam everywhere I can. I got a big block in here. The battery sits right here. So this has been put in place. I've got a slot in here to allow for the linkage. And then I got foam going in the front here. So everything is happening. Just got to put foam everywhere I can. I think I'm going to have a little bit of buoyancy from this and this, a little bit. The stern is where the problem is going to be, because I think the center of buoyancies, or the center of mass, is about here. I should actually try that. Let's see. So to get the center of mass, I'm just going to grab the boat and using very empirical method, find the place that it balances. And it's right at the stern side of the ballast tank. Ideally, you want it in the middle. So we're going to see what we can do using foam to create the additional buoyancy in the stern to correct that. Getting more foam in here. The challenge with this particular boat is you've got the upper hull that's going to interface with the lower hull. So you have to like envision things in 3 dimensions. So if you take a look at this, basically this is flush with the center line of the boat. So anything I do in the lower hull can't extend past the center line. And we've got torpedo tubes in here that go out and past, which extend into this area here. So that can't be utilized either. So I'm basically doing as much as I can, trying to get as much foam in here as I can between this, and this. I'm hoping to have offset that. And then I could probably put a little more right here. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because this power cord needs to come up and... and then we got to maybe get some in here. And then the sides. I don't know. And Logan's working on... I don't know if you guys... We showed you that little Delphin. This is like Delphin Mark II. That's maybe, what, like 16 inches long?
Yeah.
And we've come up with a new idea. So one of the big challenges with this hobby is that it's almost impossible to get new people in it because they're unwilling or incapable of allocating more than a few hours to putting something together. And it's expensive. So what we're hoping to do is use this as the gateway drug to the hobby. So the hull itself can be printed for, if you have a 3D printer, it probably cost you about $5 worth of plastic. You may or may not want to 3D print these appendages. When I did this, I had these 3D printed in nylon. And I think you took the wings, the side wings, because they're quite large. So these are really strong. They're printed in nylon. Or you could just cut them out of, 1/8 inch ABS or, fiberglass sheet or whatever you want to use. Basically what I'm saying, though, is, one of the expensive parts of a submarine is a watertight cylinder. So what I came up with this morning is a waterproof enclosure that you can 3D print yourself. And I apologize for the crudeness of this. I printed it in very, very coarse setting just for this prototype. And we're going to show you.
Tape the back on.
So this is the idea. There's your servo outputs and your drive shaft output, and bloop, just drops right in there like that. Got pre-done pockets for servos, pre-done mount for motor. You got room for a coupler. You got room for a battery, and just a little waterproof top on here. And when we get to it, we might make a little screw-off lid so that you can charge it, and so you don't have to take this apart. It should be super cool. And it'll move the weight, forward. So you got room back here for stuff. All in, you could probably get this, aside from your radio, for less than $100 for sure, with all the components and everything. And the idea is I'll come up with a list, specific motors, couplers, servos, batteries, all the other stuff that's going to make it go. You just do your shopping list and off to the races. This is going to be pretty cool, I think. And before we pack it in for the day, I want to share with you an update on that big Columbia. Remember? Got a contract to make an 8-foot Columbia. This is what we got. All the pieces came in. That's a big boat. It's like a 7.5-inch diameter body, and it's all mated perfectly to all of the printed parts. Display model, not RC, but this thing is going to be pretty darn cool. We're going to sink our teeth into this here pretty quick. Happy Friday, everyone! End of the work week. And we're kicking things off with testing our 200 series subdriver. And I have to say, we're off to a poor start. So this is completely built, tested. All the motors were working, the pump was working, the servos were working. We were testing the ballast tank, and it was not drawing water. We forced water through, and it started leaking out of the pump housing. And we're like, okay, all right, maybe it's a faulty pump. Got a brand new one, blew it through, and it was coming out here. We primed it, and it would pee out, I don't know what, 3 seconds?
Yeah.
And then it stops. And the other thing, I don't know if we don't have water in here. If I just lift this up, you see how that water's coming out?
It's gravity feeding it.
Just gravity feeding it. It's just flowing right through the pump. That should not be happening for a geared pump like this. We're gonna do some vivisection, some dissection of that. I want to see what it looks like inside here. All right, here's the inside of a gear pump, and I don't know why they call it a gear pump. So weird. I'm kidding. It's because there's gears in there. That's why it's a gear pump. So if we talk about this is how it works. For those of you who don't know, the water would come in through here. These gears would spin, let's say, clockwise on the bottom and counterclockwise on the top. I can even move them a little bit. And then the water would get forced in between the gear teeth and then spit out this other side. These, I believe, are supposed to be O-rings around here, but they're completely squished out, which means the water can flow in behind. That doesn't really tell me, though, why this isn't producing any pressure. So we just double checked to make sure that both of these were seated on their respective shafts. This one's got a keyed shaft that goes into the motor, and then this one is just free spinning. But they're tight. Jason, put his finger on there, and they'll spin underneath it. So that's not the problem. I thought maybe this was slipping on its shaft and the water was just flowing in between, but that is not the case. Let's try reassembling it. Maybe it was jammed up or not on the shaft. So, mystery solved. Garbage, garbage, garbage. This came from a previous batch, and it works perfectly. It pumps at high pressure. It works really, really good. These are all crap. I would actually be tempted, if we weren't going to use that one, to take it apart and see what is different inside. Because these are exactly the same. Like, they're the exact same pumps. We've got to salvage this, but here's the situation, people. We're at like T-minus a week before I go back to work full time. And I just don't have time to troubleshoot these and source new suppliers and all of this stuff. So we might just get this one cylinder done and cancel the other 2 outstanding orders that we have for 200 series and then cull the product. That is where we're at. Well, let's do a quick recap. Virginia cylinder is all set to go. We've got our T up here. We just need to pop that off. We need to put a snorkel up in there. So that'll get done first thing Monday morning. And we'll be in re-testing phase because hopefully by then my new switch will be in place and we can get this all back to fighting trim once again. Jam more foam in Stingray. Basically where we're at with this, I want to chuck the top on it and just dunk it in the water and see how roughly good we are in terms of flotation ability on the boat. Because if it sinks like a stone, then we've got rethinking to do. And we did the Virginia, and we put the old functional pump back in our 200 series, but now we're running into fitment issues with getting the electronic speed controllers in. I ordered another micro electronic speed controller for the pump. That's going to be here on Monday. We're done with this. Just do not have the capabilities of continuing product development and revisions on these units. So, sorry guys. Such is life.
And on my side, I've been working on Delphin for most of today, and I've got to say, this has to be one of my favorite projects to put together. It has been so clean. Every step has been, like, super simple, and any holdup has only taken, like, 5 minutes to clear up. I think so far the worst I had to deal with was when installing the upper hull that I have over here. I had slight fitment issues, but within 2 seconds, I fixed it, got everything ready. This probably is going to be the fastest build we'll ever have through the shop. I think we can get this thing functional within a week of shop time.
I think if we sat down and worked on it, we might get it done in a day. It's pretty darn quick. We're going to need to do some revisions in the back for pinning the outside dive planes, but that I think we could handle fairly quickly.
But what I love about this as well is that every step I've taken has been super simple. I haven't had to use any shop tricks or techniques I've picked up over my time here. Basically every step of the way, this just kind of felt like putting together like a model you'd buy off of a shelf. Just like take the parts, find the hole that matches the part, slap them together, glue it shut. I mean, you still have to know how to fix your rough edges, but in terms of putting a boat together, I had the upper and lower hull done within 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be super cool. Probably should have put the wire facing down.
I tried doing that, however, it interfered with these servos.
Oh.
Slightly.
Well, there you go. All right. No biggie. No biggie. Yeah, those are just actually, that might even work better. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll end it there for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this week. Tomorrow, if the weather holds out, it's supposed to be thunderstormy. This week in Houston is going to be up and down, and it's going to be nastiness. But hopefully tomorrow we're going to have a run out at Taylor Pond with a whole bunch of people. Hopefully that works. But regardless, Subed Tortle's going to come out. We're going to do some fun RC sub stuff. So if you like what you saw, like and subscribe. If you have questions or comments, drop them below. As always, thank you for joining us. Catch you next time.